the year of 2023 is coming to an end. Anyway, Merry Christmas everyone! I present to you my top 10 Nintendo Switch games of the year 2023. I bet your opinions are different compared to mine. Let me know in the comments how different they are and which your personal 2023 favorite has been. But first of all, the disclaimer. Don't worry if you haven't played through all the games yet, and maybe plan to do so soon. This video does not include any spoilers for the games and uses trailer-only footage. Also, in this ranking are only games included that got released in the year 2023. And we are only talking about full game releases and no DLCs or updates. So games like Pokemon or Mario Kart cannot be included, for example, as their base game already got released in an earlier year. However, remakes and remasters are included as they have been entirely reworked on. So now, let's get started. Number 10. Sonic Superstars. Honestly, I'm not the biggest Sonic enthusiast and I only played a few Sonic games in general. But this game is actually really fun and I like how gimmicky it is. Also, this game focused on trying to be like a classic 2D Sonic game, attempting to make their fans happier again. Of course it's not flawless, but I think out of a casual Sonic player perspective, it's actually a decent step towards the right direction. Having now a local multiplayer inside of a Sonic game for the first time ever, at least for the main campaign, is for sure amazing. And you can never do anything wrong with adding a multiplayer, as you experience the game way different by playing together along with a friend, sibling, or whoever else. The biggest issue with the game is unfortunately the design of boss fights though, which just feel really tedious to defeat, as they surely feel unnecessarily stretched and take literally forever. Though something that's cool is how you can now choose between 4 different characters. Other than only Sonic, we now also have Amy, Tails, and Knuckles, who all behave a little different when controlled, which reminded me of the two Marios a bit, but at least every character feels unique this way, rather than being just some sort of a skin. Number 9. Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life. If you like farming simulators, this is actually a really fun one. This game is split into multiple chapters, each lasting one in-game year. Honestly, I'm surprised I enjoyed this game as much as I did. But when 2023 started, I got into playing Story of Seasons along with my brother, noticing a new game is around the corner, coming out later that year. Being a Wonderful Life, of course. Though for me, following the exact same patterns every in-game day over and over again started to become boring around halfway into each chapter. But starting a family in this game and seeing your child grow while also seeing how the other NPCs in this game are evolving is hilarious to watch. And personally, I like how the game starts and seeing the beginning of each chapter. Just if you get a little further into the game and start creating a routine, then it might start to become not that fun anymore as it used to be. Number 8. WarioWare Move It! Ah yeah, the WarioWare series. It's just a collection of many micro minigames and therefore has no chance to compete with other big game titles. But it's fun regardless, and for me, it's simply the cutscenes making this game great. I love watching the story of the WarioWare games and the joy with which stupid ideas they came up this time for all the characters. Due to this, of course the story mode is where you will have the best time, as other side modes don't really have much replayability purposes, for me at least, as I have basically enough of them after getting through them once or maybe twice. I didn't really value the micro games yet too much, and even though I like the WarioWare series more for their cutscenes rather for their micro games, it's still really funny playing those. Obviously, you'll find ones you fall in love with, But then you also get some where you don't even know what you're doing wrong and keep losing on. That's just the sheer beauty of WarioWare. Oh yeah, something that's really cool is that you can even compete against another person now, as this game supports local multiplayer with one more player, which even functions in story mode, which is always awesome to have again, right? Number 7. Octopath Traveler 2. I didn't expect the second title to happen for the Octopath Traveler series. I actually like the first game quite a bit, and it's a really enjoyable RPG. The second game feels similar to the first game. It's really charming, and I love how you can decide with who you want to begin your story with and how to continue this journey. A addition for the second game now is even that always 2 of the 8 main characters even share a chapter together sometimes, which is really cool. Seeing how their path crosses and how they are able to overcome their troubles now together. Sadly though, I just personally don't like pixel styled games too much. To me, they just look like a huge missed opportunity to create an even greater game, because polished 3D animated character models just look way more advanced in my opinion, and not as they are still a century behind. Anyway, I might be one of the minorities seeing it that way, as a lot of people still enjoy this art style and are therefore the targeted group of players the game is made for. But I really love the character artworks you get to see by selecting a chapter for a character each time. These models look awesome, and imagine the whole game would have such models as the actual characters. Number 6. Kirby returns to Dreamland Deluxe. This was one of my first Kirby games I ever played through, so I definitely feel some sort of nostalgia for this title. Not like I was any hyped when I heard this game would get a remake, but by seeing tons of changes they add to the game, it actually seemed to be a really decent made remake. Of course, graphical wise, you can see nicer looking backgrounds and colors in general, but having 2 new copy abilities, being Sand and Mecha, was really unexpected. But it's cool to have them. For some reason, the game felt harder to me compared to the original Wii release, especially for some bosses. They didn't go down as quick as they used to go, making some fights more challenging, but most importantly, therefore more enjoyable. Still, talking about the increased difficulty, the whole game in general remains being really easy overall. You won't really face any struggles within regular levels. At least that's my biggest issue with this game. I like to have it a little tougher. But the greatest addition is definitely the extra campaign, the Megalor Epilogue, as this included completely new and unique levels and even boss fights. Number 5. Metroid Prime Remastered. The era of Metroid is actually shining currently. We had Metroid Dread in late 2021. For 2023, we had the remaster of Metroid Prime, and Metroid 4 is in development. This game blends in with its atmosphere and how many little details can be found exploring this first-person adventure, with cleaner graphics this time, on the Nintendo Switch of course. And I really appreciate how they combined multiple assets of combat, platforming, exploring, and solving puzzles all together, which just grants an excellent experience. Okay, so I'm actually cool with walking through already explored areas again, either because a new path has opened or you got another ability, thus allowing you to get another collectible, which was impossible to reach previously before. But this game actually takes it a little too far sometimes with the backtracking shenanigans. Obviously, this is more like a problem with the game itself rather than a remaster, by the way. Another great improvement for the remaster version though are the controls, which got adjusted, worked perfectly fine on the Switch, and are in general way easier and comfortable to getting used to now, compared to the original release on the GameCube. Number 4. The Legend of Zelda. Tears of the Kingdom. This is the direct sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and the transition into this new adventure is just phenomenal and starts off big right at the start. I love how you can visit a gigantic world where you once traveled during Breath of the Wild, but this time you are in Tears of the Kingdom and everything looks really familiar. But then you didn't only got this massive world, now you got two more big ones, one above the skies and another one deep below underground. It's hilarious how much you get to explore in the entirety of this enormous game. But I'm saying one thing, Koroks. Holy cow, these guys are back, and yet again, annoying. If you actually want to 100% this game, good luck, you will totally need it. Seriously. You thought 900 Koroks was a lot. Well, it's time for another 900 Koroks to go for. And yes, there are 1000 Korok seeds, but 100 of them are double Korok seeds, a new sort of Korok seed challenge, and I don't know why, but finding them feels now even more brutal and annoying to me. Guess due to the expanded areas we got this time. While for the abilities, we have ones that behave similar to some we already had in the previous game, but so many more unique abilities, making this game just absurd. And it just feels so satisfying traversing through this everlasting world. Number 3. Pikmin 4. Oh my gosh, Pikmin 4. And honestly, I actually just got into Pikmin in like late 2021 with Pikmin 3, and then got to play 1 and 2 afterwards over the year 2022. So I was lucky I only had to wait less than a year to get my hands on the most recent entry, Pikmin 4. All these games share the exact same story basically, which is that some person in a spaceship will crash land eventually on the Pikmin's home planet. This is so ridiculous that even the developers started to make fun of this in the game itself. And in Pikmin 4, you have like 100 different people who crash landed on the same planet, which is just this dumb that it's actually funny. My biggest problem with the game is actually the Dandori challenges, because in order to get a perfect score, you actually have to learn the courses beforehand. And I don't like to do the same thing over and over again. Sure, call this a Dandori issue. On the bright side, the game has a lot of variety to offer in how you want to explore the different areas, as it got the overworld, caves, and even a nighttime version now. Number 2. Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Honestly, I've been really skeptical about Mario Bros. Wonder when I heard about it and even first played it, as I'm not the most thrilled when it comes to 2D games, as I'm much more of an 3D adventure enjoyer, but I actually got impressed. The variety of transformations the Wonder Flower gave you were straight up stunning. However, difficulty curve-wise, it was often really questionable. Like, you had a majority of levels in one world to be hard just to get in the next world, and experience only levels being as easy as World 1's. At least that's how it felt like sometimes, and I'm not starting to talk about the special world, the pure evil. But giving the opportunity to explore some areas in 3D was really fun. Especially the desert comes into my mind thinking about that. Number 1. Super Mario RPG. Okay, you got me there. You can tell I'm a Mario addict. Yeah, and it's just a remake, but by comparing the original 1996 release with the remake, it's so much more polished. Not only that though, they also created a few cute little cutscenes to make the game feel more alive and interactive. Of course, the boss rematches are also really cool, as they give the player another challenge after already have beaten the game. And one is the hardest in particular. Only part which didn't convince me were the new remixed instrumental soundtracks. Don't get me wrong, they are still really good, but some sort of bang is missing, if you know what I mean. This also could just be me though, sympathizing with the original tracks, but even for this, you get the option to set the music to the original SNES soundtracks to enjoy the OG variations. Have you played all of these 10 games already? Well, if you still look for a game to play before 2024, I highly suggest those mentioned games. Before we get to see more cool games in the upcoming year of 2024, where we get stuff like Princess Peach Showtime, which looks really interesting to say the least, but also, and most importantly, the unexpected remake of Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door. Anyway, that's content for another time. Thanks for sticking around till the very end. And if you enjoy content like this, make sure to drop a like and smash the subscribe button. For more frequent videos, you can also check out this video right here if you want more Nintendo related analysis. Have a great Christmas time, if you should watch this around the time I release this at least. Bye!